These are some do's and don'ts for OMADing for life. This list wasn't made specifically for anyone in mind, but it comes with an accumulation of thoughts on making long-term changes. Number one, don't buy bigger clothes ever again. Your days of buying fat clothes should be over. And in fact, that's the biggest mistake you've made through the years. In terms of gaining weight, however you tracked your weight or used to monitor your weight, it was the fact that when your pants got tight, you bought bigger pants. When your jacket got tight, you bought a bigger jacket. That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can do. If you're in the process of losing and you're getting rid of your bigger clothes, appreciate every second of it, because you're never going to want to see yourself go back up to those sizes. My waist will never again be bigger than a 34, and usually 34s are kind of loose on me. I'll never go back up, and I've decided that an XL shirt, because of my height mainly, is all that I'm going to need. Don't ever buy bigger clothes again. That's going long term. Never in your life should you ever buy bigger clothes again. And of course, when you go to maintain and you've moved on from losing, which there will come a time, I know it's hard to imagine now for some of you, one of the easiest indicator of all is not the scale, but how tight your clothes are fitting. If they're fitting tight, you know you're gaining. It's time to move back into a fast cycle. If they're very loose, it's time to increase the calories, up the activity levels, and venture out a little. And so it will be for the rest of your life. But that's number one. Don't ever buy bigger clothes again. Number two, I've mixed these up here, do try to get all food groups in. Unless you are an ethical vegan or you are for some reason compelled to not do dairy or meats or certain carbs or gluten or something like that, don't get rid of food groups. Try to get all of them in. Why do I say that? Because if you look back at your life, at what you had right as a fat person, you got what you wanted. You followed your cravings and you got what you wanted. So if you wanted to go out and get a bunch of ice cream, your body was naturally getting the calcium from that. Yes, you do get some calcium from dairy. People say you don't. You do. It's not. You don't have to have it, but it can be very good in the right way or quantity. So do try to get all the food groups, but don't go out of your way to think that you have to exclude anything. And it's so popular today to go on to restrictive movements. No gluten, no meat, no carbs, no starches, no dairy. Stop thinking like that. Stop thinking like that. Stop thinking exclusion, because that's always what makes you feel like you're in prison. You cannot go through life, or it's very difficult to go through life, with the disposition that you have to eliminate certain things. Again, only in case of an allergy or an ethical reason that you see as defining you, should you ever aim to get rid of food groups. So do try to get all your food groups. Number three, don't be afraid to see your weight vary. As you go throughout your life, your daily routine, your weight's going to vary. People freak out. They email me and they say, my weight has gone up or down. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to totally happen. But it's not going to keep going in one direction. It's not going to keep going down. It's not going to keep going up, because you have a handle on things. You just have to trust me. Those of you who are getting started, if you're coming from another weight loss plan, or if you've been letting yourself go too long and you feel like you have some condition, your body will bounce back. If you go back and look at the lowest points of your life, then you're going to realize one thing. You're going to realize that your body never goes in any one direction too often. Even if you gain and you're trying to eat as bad as you can and you want to gain as much weight as you can, your body's going to set a limit. Just like the plateaus going down, you're going to have plateaus going ahead. That's why otherwise everybody who ever overate would be thousands of pounds because you'd constantly be gaining. But you don't work like that. Your body has set points at every point. So don't be afraid of that. Number 4, do increase your calories. Listen to this. It is not safe to fast forever. Big surprise to people. Now you can do OMAD forever, but you're going to need to be able to be in a non-deficit. You're going to need to be able to be in a non-deficit at some point. It's actually not good really to fast more than a year or just shy of a year like I did. It does put stress on your internal organs a little bit. It's good stress, but too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So you're going to want to get to a point where you increase your calories. And of course that goes back to the last point. You can't be afraid of seeing some gains. Number 5, don't pick back up old habits. Should go without saying, right? Well, you already know what will happen if you go back to eating when you're bored, eating when you're stressed, eating to compensate and take back the power, and what I've talked about in other videos. You can never go back to those old habits. I get so many responses from people who started OMAD now, and they did great, maybe 3 months, 6 months, or whatever, lost a lot of weight, and then went back to old habits, and they say, oh, I went back to old habits. Yeah, that's what happens if you go back to eating cake all the time. You will naturally have the body and mood and feelings and waistline of somebody who eats cake all the time. So it's like, what did you expect would happen? Come on now. Number 6, do increase your activity levels. Remember, this goes with increasing your calories. Anytime your calories go up, your activity levels go up. It should be that way. If you're increasing your activity levels and you're keeping your calories down, you're looking for a lot of stress on your internal organs and possible complications from anemia, mono, and all that. You can really hurt your body. It's one of the reasons I don't recommend you increase your activity levels if you're not increasing your calories, and vice versa. Do experiment with foods, beverages, and supplements. Now, I haven't talked a lot about supplements. I'm going to do another video on one, but basically here's why I don't talk about them. Because everybody's needs are different. And you can't say for sure what will work with one person. Most vitamins and supplements simply are not going to work. They're going to be excreted. But there are cases in which they are not. But experiment. Experiment with cutting out animal proteins. Experiment with going low carb. Experiment with different types of eating that you feel enhances you. It really is a good way to go. Because experimentation is part of courage, is part of taking control, is part of becoming a new you. Now fasting over time makes this easier. So don't think you have to just up and do it all yourself. You don't. Fasting makes it easier because as your body releases human growth hormone, you become more apt to try new things because your body wants you to eat. It wants you to feed. It wants you to go out of your way to be well. And if you're coming from overeating, it's going to make you think that only overeating will make you feel good. So it will motivate you to try to get good food. That's the crazy thing. You're manipulating your body the same way if you're working out to build muscle. You're breaking down your muscles. Your body says, oh no, we need to make sure this doesn't happen again. And then you get bigger and stronger as time goes by. Don't be anxious to make drastic changes in diet based on movements. Now here I'm going to go back to different movements that are going around YouTube and the different social media. I'm not attacking them, but you need to be careful to recognize that all these movements on YouTube, when you see somebody who goes gluten-free, that's another big movement. Of course, the vegan movement, the paleo movement is kind of in a recession, but movements come and go. They do. Here's the problem with them is in 10 years, most people are not going to be doing those things anymore. These 20-year-olds who are getting on and doing YouTube videos with their shirts off and working out, they're not getting those benefits from the way they're eating. They're getting the benefits from the fact that they're 20. So yes, it's going to be fun to take off their shirt and do a YouTube video on how healthy they are eating only bananas or potatoes for a month or only excluding animal products. That's not why they're young and strong. It's because they're young and strong. So don't get taken by movements. of any kind, including the OMAD revolution. This is a tool to enhance your life. It's a tool to enhance your life. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to become a slave to it. You don't have to become a groupie. And I do not like groupies. I do not want groupies. You do not want to say, well, here I am this, I belong to this group, so that you feel a sense of belonging. That's what all the world religions are based on. That's what all of the political parties are based on. And they really head downward. They don't promote much true progress. If you want true progress, you need to understand that the life changes you make, which may indeed be OMAD forever for you, like it is for me, it's something that it has to serve you. Just like your body serves you, it serves your greater mind, it serves your soul, for lack of a better term, whether you believe in a soul or not. Everybody has one because you have a seat where you exist, where you thrive, where you abide. So don't be anxious to make any drastic changes. The OMAD change is probably the biggest you will make, and you will probably never leave it. But if you do, it will be still a tool that you will always have to fall back on, which is why, by the way, most people don't leave OMAD. They cycle back on and off it instinctively. So if they get overweight, they naturally know what they can do to help themselves. The same way, animals in the wild, when they get sick, quit eating, and they start just laying around and drinking water and letting their body heal. It's natural. It's intuitive. Once you teach yourself, you fall back in touch with your instincts, and you start learning and living again. And what I'm saying here is really the final point. Do move on with your life. Don't ever get caught in any particular movement. They're really dangerous. They really are dangerous. Move on with your life. I've moved on. I'm helping people here in this channel because I enjoy it and it's something I want to do. But don't ever think that you are somehow obligated to be a groupie, because you're just not. So those are the do's and don'ts, and I hope they're helpful to you.